is a big issue for me. I don't like taxes. I don't understand taxes. When I hear people in the Western world pay 40, 50, 60% tax, I was like, it's like you work 5, 6 months, 7 months of the year for free, basically. That's what you're telling me. For what? For no safety, average education, below average healthcare.
Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there's having a good day, y'all. It's Saturday. It's windy, it's cold, it's rainy out here. Just cleaned up my dirty yard from these crazy dust storms we're going to be getting into in today's video. We got a good one, y'all. We got an hour video, some viral, creepy TikToks. We're taking a trip into the dark side of TikTok. Y'all, you guys ready? Let's go. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I don't know how Walmart's selling this right now. For some reason, you can go to some Walmarts and find the Faces of Death Volume 1 through 4 DVD for sale. And no, it's not a joke. People are sharing these left and right. They're finding these things somehow, and I don't understand it. But you can get it right now. Go to Walmart before they might pull all of these.
Oh my God, look up in the sky!
Whoa.
I don't see it. I'm on the front porch. Okay, look toward
Oh my God, that is strange.
Look,
Crazy.
Look, east. Look east.
Look east, look up.
Wow,
You don't see that, you're blind.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Do you see it, Mom?
No.
Oh, shit, you're kidding me. I'm on Marietta, facing Newport Road, and I'm staring right at it.
Dude, it's huge.
I don't see it.
What the heck?
Totally staying still. Now it's spinning in circles. Oh my God. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, I don't see
What the
it.
hell is it?
I'm in the middle of my
Oh
front
my gosh, dude.
Almost trolling.
East, Mom.
I got such a good picture of it.
East is towards Hemet.
No, oh, look west.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God, dude.
You see it, Mom?
Aaron Hedges went missing on September 5th, 2014 while elk hunting in the Crazy Mountains in Montana. This was an area he knew like the back of his hand and spent every other weekend up there, in the words of his friends. 2 days after going missing, a huge snowstorm moved into the mountains. Rescue workers stumbled across his shoes and camelback water container. For someone to take off their shoes while there's 18 inches of snow on the ground seems to be a decision someone would make under severe hypothermia. But the strange thing is that 9 months later, his backpack was found 6 miles down the mountain next to a place where someone clearly sat and had a thermos of tea. To add to the mystery, from this location he could clearly see people's houses and a road, but never went to them. 1 year later, his remains were found not far from that location. The only explanation for such strange disappearances seems to be linked to something we don't understand. After researching UFOs and aliens for years, I've come to the conclusion they are a spiritual phenomenon, and that is leading me to research a potential dark spiritual phenomenon causing people to disappear. Let me know what you think. I know it sounds crazy. Leave in the comments what you think is happening in these strange disappearances.
Are you familiar?
It's so crazy, y'all. I've done a deep dive. I used to run the mountain listening to 411 podcast. I love them. I'm obsessed with them. But it's so crazy that they'll find their body. They do a grid search, right? That's somebody walking this way, somebody walking this. Every square inch of this section we search. A year later, the body pops up, the clothes pop up, neatly folded, crazy things. And they say a lot of these missing, not all of them, but a lot of them, they find that they have like a German descent and they have something like wrong with them, or they got like a vasectomy or something like that. Those tend to go missing. German, we all know the story, how the Z's, right, did the deal to get the technology. They're in the national forest. You can only deal with people in the national forest. We've done those deep dives on these videos, y'all. So it's very interesting. I'm obsessed with these missing 401s. I want to read the books, but they're so damn expensive on eBay, y'all.
The missing 411 cases? No? Missing 411 refers to a series of unsolved cases of people who mysteriously vanished in national parks across North America. Obviously, it's common for people to get lost in like the woods because it's fucking huge, right?
Yeah, but you could like fall the wrong side, get eaten by an animal too.
But it's just the way they went missing, how they were found, how their remains were found. Like there's one case about a guy, his name is Aaron Hedges. Back in 2014, he was elk hunting in the Crazy Mountains in Montana. He was really familiar with this specific area. He got so familiar to the point where like he didn't need a map to
So there's no way he could just get lost.
No, bro. Like, and he even set up these caches on different parts of the area. It has like necessities that he might need, like sleeping bags, food, water, stuff like that. So he ended up going with 2 of his friends on a hiking trip, and they were gonna go set up camp at a lake. So they were gonna go with 2 horses and a pack mule. It was good for the first 2 days, and then on the 3rd day, Aaron decides, you know what? I'm just gonna go to a cache. I'm gonna go get a sleeping bag, get some other materials that we might need. I'm gonna come back. A couple hours later, one of his friends ends up talking to him on the walkie-talkie, and this specific like walkie-talkie, whenever you talk, it shows the GPS coordinate of the other person's walkie-talkie. So whenever he looked at it, Aaron said he was gonna go north to a cache, but on the map he went far east from the cache he was supposed to go. And then whenever they got in contact with him, he was like, "Oh, sorry guys, I went the wrong way on accident."
But how would he get lost like that?
Exactly. They go out look for him and stuff. They go to where the GPS showed, no sign of him anywhere, bro. Since they found nothing, they eventually ended up calling the authorities. They ended up finding his boots, and next to his boots was a campfire, pack of cigarettes that were his. But it was weird because those same
Ultra-processed food is weaponized. Ultra-processed food is a science experiment. Ultra-processed food is not the free market at work. It is a rigged system where tens of thousands of scientists, as the cigarette industry declined in the 1980s, went to food companies. And you literally have food companies today as one of the biggest employers of scientists in the world. They are doing science experiments to make this food addictive and to make it not filling. And that's what we're giving to our kids. That's the problem with ultra-processed food. You know, you have a lot of the evidence-based bros saying, well, no, it's the calories. Calories have gone up in the past 30 years. Well, why have calories gone up? Because it's gone up with ultra-processed food consumption, which is weaponized to make us eat more. The problem, we know how to regulate our calories. It's like, no, it's not, the problem's not ultra-processed food. The problem's that they're one and the same. We're being poisoned and we're being addicted, and we have a mass drug addiction crisis here. And we literally have the characteristics of addiction, denial from parents who are addicted to these foods and giving them to their kids. It's because they're normal.
Is there anyone else?
Yeah, it's like I always say I'm like a drug addict, y'all. Like when I go buy like say some hot Cheetos, I feel like an alcoholic that shouldn't be buying it. Like I'm hiding and just look as crazy as it sounds, y'all. That it's the truth. Like we get those traits of you know addiction traits because it's what we are. We're addicted, but it's crazy how just a few days of eating clean, right? Today I got things done, y'all. Went out there, yard was a mess. Grass was full of dust. Synthetic grass was full of dust. Every time you step on it, a poof comes up. Patio was full of trash, from people's trash cans falling over. 50-mile-an-hour winds out here, y'all, and dust. So imagine that on your patio. So I went and blew it out, watered that synthetic grass so all the dirt falls down. My shed I just built, full of dust, pulled everything out, blew it out, blew out the garage, pulled all our cars out, blew out my engine, blew out my truck bed, like just got things done, y'all. And that is the key to having a good, happy day, happy month, happy year, happy life, y'all. We're not made to just sit here on the couch and do nothing. Like we're made to get things done. And when you're eating bad, it is very easy to just sit there and do nothing. And guess what? Those days, everyone's had them, including me. When you do nothing but eat junk, back in the day, you used to drink. 4 years sober now, I don't drink no more. But back in the day, you used to drink. You just sit there all day and do nothing. And guess what? Those are some of the worst days you ever have, right? Get out there and get things done. I'm trending up right now, y'all. I'm trending up to have a good day. Getting this reaction in, feeling good. Shout out to the CaveFam. Back to the video, y'all.
There who believes that what makes you age on your birthday is when people sing the birthday song to you and you blow out the ceremonial candle. Am I the only one?
Do you ever wonder if the actor from Mask really looked like this? In a popular 80s movie, Mask. Now, I remember seeing this as a kid and I was like, does he really look like that in real life? Now, I just did a previous video on Sloth from the Goonies, so check that one out if you were curious about that too. But the actor that actually played Rocky in the movie Mask was Eric Stoltz. So he didn't really look like that in real life. Interesting fact about Eric, though, was that he was supposed to be the original main character for Back to the Future series, but they eventually just ended up going with Michael J. Fox. But for like 5 weeks on set, he was set to be the lead role for that. The movie Mask, though, is based on a true story, and this is who it was based on. Random fact.
You can't make this shit up, y'all. I'm watching the Weather Channel, and they were talking about the severe weather threat affecting the southeast quadrant of the country. Like, this is serious. We're gonna, let you know everything you need to know. But let's take a break for a second to talk about the lunar eclipse. That lunar eclipse, it is not a side note. It's not some cute thing to go try to get a glimpse of. It means you need to be paying attention to the fucking weather this weekend. It means you probably need to amplify what they're saying. Please don't fuck around with this one.
Years. After 13 years in the National Football League, I wait 5 years to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, correct?
Correct.
Guess what else happens at 5 years? Your insurance just got turned off.
Ah, didn't know that.
So for me, in my 13 years of going into the Hall, also now it's time for you to go find insurance. So who you know go insure somebody who played 65% of the snaps in the National Football League for 10 plus years in the trenches? That wouldn't be a very good investment for you as an insurance company, would it?
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. That's
Like, you would think, maybe not every player, because there's some players that go in, for a year on the practice squad, or maybe you got to hit certain milestones, right? And they're a multi-billion-dollar company, y'all. They're building billion-dollar stadiums left and right. Who's paying for that? $50 parking, $100 tickets, Super Bowls, $15,000 tickets. We're paying for all that, right? Watch them every Sunday, billions of dollars. You would think players would get lifetime insurance, right? I mean, it's only right. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy how they do the players dirty, and
And I'm home alone, right? But the reflection shows.
Yeah, no. Like the ring.
That's
The Rudge.
See, and you think I'm crazy. First time I'm here by myself, there's a picture on the floor, and it just...
Oh, yeah. Is anybody there? Has ever done that? Nope. Is anybody there? Nope.
So we have to get out. We have to get out.
I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It was
a few
exciting.
other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to all men right here, but what if men lie so much that Adam actually bit the apple and blamed it on Eve, and that's why the apple is stuck in our throat?
Adam's apple.
Hold on. He might be on to something. Hold on.
It's deep, y'all. That's how deep.
What's
that
even
is. It's
happening right
crazy.
now? We have fires popping up all over Oklahoma and Texas. We have sandstorms knocking down trailers, and we also have the news warning of multiple tornadoes, and we've not had a warning this bad since I think it was 2011. I really don't even know where to start with this, and I do wonder if the blood moon had anything to do with this because of gravitic and energetic changes, but if you're driving in Texas, it might look like this. And this is the second time in 2 weeks, y'all. I've had 50 car accidents at least. It literally knocked over 4 trailers in just 1 hour. Fires popping up all over Oklahoma and Texas. Hey, do y'all remember this Time magazine cover? It's irrelevant. I just wanted to show it to you. It's pretty cool, right? Of course, we just had 2 crazy wildfires in the Carolinas just weeks apart, with weird anomalous things popping up on the radar I'm not going to show here. And for some reason, very odd, one of the weather organizations just came out on Twitter and they were like, we haven't had an EF5 tornado all year, something to that extent.
Boom,
Fast forward a few hours and they're trying to get people to leave their homes, especially trailers, because they're expecting many tornadoes. Y'all, the South and the East Coast are in for it. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of worrisome. This is gonna be the craziest year for storms that we have ever seen, guaranteed 1000%. By the way, make sure your family prepares for this.
There are street
Like, I was just literally gonna say that. It's not even storm season, y'all. It's not hurricane season. I believe that's in the summer, right? It's not tornado season. Right now, it's windy season where I'm at. I'm dealing with that dust, y'all. It's terrible. Dust all in my grill, dust in my garage, dust in my cars, even though the windows are rolled up. Dust everywhere. Can't stand it. Cleaned it today, but I've been dealing with that the past 2 weeks, y'all. We had like 3 last week, terrible dust storms. Yesterday's wasn't as bad, but it was still dusty enough to just make a mess. You guys dealing with any of this crazy weather? All my Texans out there, why didn't you guys tell me the wind was like this before I moved out here, y'all? You guys didn't tell me. You said it was a beautiful state. It's beautiful, y'all. I love it, but I'm just not a fan of this dust, y'all. I'm not a fan. Next year I will be more prepared, but man, I have never seen. I'm from Arizona. We get monsoons. We get dust storms. Here is sandstorms. Monsoon in Arizona rolls in, rolls out. 10-minute dust storm. That's it. Here in Texas, 24-hour dust storm, y'all. Dust all day and all night.
Down by police in places that don't make any sense. And I found, and as I started to look for it, I just happened to Google. So like I kind of get better and better at Google searching. And I just Googled Las Vegas shooting map. I guess I Brave browser searched it. And I turned up this file at this, I think the URL is vegasshootingmap.com. But if you search for Las Vegas shooting map on a couple different search sites, it'll be like within the first 4 hits as long as you're not Google searching it. And that map is like a Google Maps file that someone has gone in and actually archived all of the original primary source data, like the actual 911 calls, the actual video files, the actual reports, the actual autopsies, all on the map where they occurred. And you can click on them and they're directly linked. And you can just go watch all the body cam footage, all the videos, all the reports, all the phone calls. You can listen to them for yourself. And it is so eye-openingly, mind-blowingly like, what the fuck is going on here? Because obviously what we're being told is a wildly misleading fabrication, but then starting to try to explain what it is like the next level. And there are multiple levels of conspiracy theories that get applied to it. And this one, more than almost any other conspiracy theory, is one that is clearly there is a conspiracy. And actually, there is no clear answers as far as I've been able to establish yet. And I've talked to some very smart people that have done years worth of work on it on multiple sides. And some people have Saudi angles. Some people have angles of like, that doesn't really fit because the thing is that a lot of the angle fits towards something happening on the roof of the Mandalay Bay and the structure on top that's actually owned by the Saudi government and the Crown Prince bin Salman having recently taken the throne in Saudi Arabia, and Al-Talib being the dethroned crown prince being tied to Mossad in a lot of ways, and the Khashoggi family who Epstein was smuggling guns with. So it's like a lot of people think there's like a shootout happening on the roof for some reason, and maybe the helicopters are exfiltrating, or actually guns or people are shooting out of the helicopters. And that kind of makes sense in some ways for that piece. But then it's like, so why is there 60 people dead in a music festival down on the strip? And then like, why is this guy in this room with all this weaponry? It's like maybe a gun deal gone bad, but that doesn't explain the people in the concert. So maybe it's like they're attacking the concert to grab our guns, but that doesn't explain the helicopters and the automatic fire and the dude. You wouldn't even do it with the dude in a room. So it's like none of this, it has to be multiple things going on. It has to be one of the most complex. It's kind of like having a Jason Bourne movie happen in real life, and then all the civilians that were like next to the filming of the movie being like, what the fuck just happened? And then the government having to cover up like Jason Bourne running through, Las Vegas.
This is the mystery you like to solve right here.
Yeah,
right?
It's wild.
Wow.
And it's interesting because you start to get to points where you realize that story is actually probably still playing out today. And it might have to do with some Trump stuff. It might have to do with some Saudi government stuff today. Because right now, Mohammed bin Salman, who might be involved in that, we don't know. He is currently in the middle of the Israeli peace talks with the various nations, because Saudi Arabia is like a key linchpin over there. So there's an element of like, it is so shadowed right now, and you're not allowed to talk about it. And I think that's because it's still present in the current political machinations today.
Wow.
And if what really happened were exposed, certain things would unravel, is my guess.
Why do you think they're trying to kill so many Christians? Look, let's just be totally honest. There's something about Christianity, which is the only world religion I'm aware of, theistic religion that preaches nonviolence, which it does. Others don't at all. Christianity does. It's against violence. No, tons of Christians commit violence, but they're in violation of their religion, right, in my opinion. You would think it would be the most popular religion with world leaders because it's like the Christians aren't going to hassle you. Jesus says, give unto Caesar what's Caesar's, give unto God what's God. Don't overthrow the government. Like it's a very kind of compliant religion, actually. And inherently pro-peace, and yet they're always the ones who get murdered. When the Spanish Civil War started, in that famous photograph of the communist forces, what's the first thing they opened fire on? A statue of Jesus. There's this famous picture of them firing, you know, their 8mm at a statue of Jesus. And it's like, what is that? I don't think there's a rational explanation for it. I think it's spiritual. Clearly, it's very heartening as a Christian to know that a nonviolent religion triggers people that much. It suggests maybe it's true.
Pine cone. Even the Pope carries a pine cone. Vatican has the pine cone with the dome. Bags are the carrier of things and they can be passed on, and it's always carried in their left hand. In the Kabbalah, the right represents wisdom, the left represents knowledge. This represents the carrier of secret knowledge, of how to activate the pine cone. The left is the knowledge, the right is the applied knowledge, wisdom. Pine cones can be open or they can be closed. Pine is pin, which is the pineal gland, a spiritual gland in the brain which acts as an antenna for our consciousness. You have a physical body and a spiritual body, but most humans are stuck in their physical form. This bag is the secret knowledge of how to activate our spiritual body by activating our pineal gland, going from asleep to awakened, from darkness to the light, from hell to heaven. Pineal gland is not the third eye. Pineal gland is an antenna, a receiver of consciousness. The mind is the third eye.
You lied to us, y'all.
You good?
It's artificial sizzle.
What?
It's artificial sizzle. They just put water on the hot pan. It's not the food cooking when it comes to your...
I reckon this one's going to get the pseudoscience gurus to bounce their heads off the wall. How much fuel do you reckon they used just to get out of Earth's orbit on the Apollo 11 mission? Because once again, the maths just ain't mathing. This is a fuel tank holding 60,000 gallons worth of fuel. Now, just for the Apollo 11 mission, the Saturn V rocket, to get out of Earth's orbit, it needed 203,400 gallons of kerosene fuel and 318,000 gallons of liquid oxygen. And to fully get to the moon, they needed to use 950,000 gallons of fuel. Once again, this is 60,000 gallons. And we're led to believe that this rocket used 950,000 gallons just to get to the moon. Then a further 950,000 essentially to get back and land perfectly. Where are they fitting all that fuel? This was just for entertainment, guys, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
So both some video and photos, like concept art, have been released recently of some barges that China's been building with the intention of using them for amphibious landings. And a lot of people believe that these are intended because they're trying to land on Taiwan. Now, from what I've been able to find, apparently China's built at least 5 of these barges so far, which appear to be tailor-made for amphibious assault, because it's going to provide them with a way of offloading large numbers of tanks and other armored vehicles and troops directly onto roads in Taiwan, or anywhere else for that matter that they wanted to land. Now, so far from what I've been able to find, at least 3, but likely there's at least 5 or more, have been observed in the Guangzhou shipyard in southern China. They've got these really long bridges that extend from their bows, and the configuration makes them particularly relevant to any future landing on Taiwanese islands, because they have like a Bailey bridge that's able to stretch out for 120 meters essentially to land or to reach across soft sand and rocks onto some more hard ground from the ship or from the barge. Now the barges have like these 8 jacked up legs that drop down once it gets to a point where they want to stop, and it hits the seabed for stability of the craft as they're unloading. They've also got self-supporting stern ramps in the rear of the ship that are able to be used for docking of ferries, so if they want to offload vehicles from ferries onto the barge so that they can then be driven off, they can do that.
Michelle Obama and hot dogs.
A hot dog is not a sandwich.
Quick question though, how does it have 13,000 views and 26,000 likes? See, I saw this comment right here, one of many. How did this just come out 4 hours ago, have nearly 4K views, but 25,000 likes. Real quick, man, this girl right here, Tony Lynn on Naked and Afraid, she was kidnapped by the cartel. So we started our own. Help me beat Michelle Obama and help us have more followers than her, seriously. Because we're talking about she's escaping the cartel. We just had Chris Kell on from Five Finger Death Punch. We've got some heavy hitters coming in. Would really, really appreciate y'all's support. But anyways, I just find it strange, man, that, you know, this is just, they talk about it as if...
In my opinion, and people have been trying to convince me...
It's just a hot dog?
It is a hot dog.
It's its own category?
It's its own category.
Is a ham...
I'm 23. My birthday, 2/3. Driver's license, social security number, everything. I was born at 11:12 p.m. 11 plus 12. It's like it's imitating my life.
You can't be serious.
Why did you choose this color?
I don't know, you tell me.
Red number 5. RED is 27 plus 5 is 32, which is...
You're reaching now.
Sure, there are differences. Fingerling's a detective. I'm a dog catcher. He met Fabrizio when he was 32, whereas I met you when I was...
23.
And the day we met was?
September 14th.
9/14. 14 plus 9 is?
23.
We married October 13th. 10/13. 23.
Honey, I think you're taking this too seriously.
Wait. We live at 1814. I mean, 18 is 1 plus 8, which equals 9, and 9 plus 14 is also 23. 14 is 1 plus 4, which equals 5, and 5 plus 18 is 23 too.
Oh my god. 18 plus 14 is 32.
23 reversed. Spooky, huh?
We're getting freaked out over here.
If you fly on Southwest Airlines, I'm sorry to say, but you're probably not going to want to fly them anymore. Now, their CEO made a video explaining why they're doing this, and I'm going to play a little bit for you right here. It's probably the dumbest thing you could possibly say to people that are struggling financially right now.
We're announcing changes to our business that will help us return to the levels of profitability we all expect.
He said the only reason they are now charging for bags is to increase their profit. Well, sir, last year alone, Southwest Airlines profited $6 billion. So now they are making us pay to bring our bags, which makes Southwest no different than Frontier or Spirit Airlines because they don't have the comfiest seats, they don't have the best amenities, and now they're charging for bags just like these other low-budget airlines. And just so we all remember, when they decided to get rid of picking your own seat, they asked the CEO about bags flying free, and this is what he said in September. You love bags fly free, and we're keeping our industry-leading policy. Every ticket with us comes with 2 free checked bags. That was not even 6 months ago.
I'm 22 years older than the average person who dies in this country, and it's simply because of what I eat.
At 102, Mike is still running, canoeing, and doing pull-ups. At 69, he was diagnosed with cancer and given 3 months to live. He read Michio Kushi's book, The Cancer Prevention Diet, that inspired him to follow a macrobiotic diet that focuses on plant-based, whole foods.
I try to get a half a can of beans every day.
He was able to fully recover from the cancer as well as his arthritis at the time.
The cancer is gone. I did it, not the doctors.
Because there's so much plastic surgery in Asia where guys are suing their wives because they marry somebody that they think is hot, and then the kid comes out and the kid's not very good.
Jawline's totally different nose. Yeah, there's a lot of plastic surgery over there. In Korea, it's nuts. They do their eyes, and it's strange.
Somebody told me as much as 75% of the women in South Korea have surgery again. Because last time I was in Korea, I was like, wow, these women here are really hot. Like, this is like woman after woman after woman, and somebody told me that's bro. That's just all plastic surgery. That's not real.
Went Mach 3 in 1960. Think of what a refrigerator looked like in 1960. So this was like technology that no one could even comprehend, and they had to keep it secret. A group of people in I think it was an American Airlines flight, saw the Oxcart as it was coming down from 90,000 feet to try to land at Area 51. They all thought they saw UFOs. The FBI shows up and said, "You did not see a UFO. You must sign this disclosure paper saying you will never share that you saw a UFO." So the point of this is the CIA would use this sort of mythology of a UFO to help cover the programs that it's trying to hide.
Not the
This
moon.
is why they don't want you looking at the eclipse. Because it's not the moon that goes in front of the sun. As you can see, it just appeared through the sun. We all know the sun is a form of a portal, and that's Nibiru showing itself on the other side.
So what I've heard just recently in the past year is that the Galactic Federation spoke with, say, the shadow government or the collective governments on planet Earth to say, no matter what, this is happening. No matter what, we're coming here, and you're getting to this place of being this galactic civilization. And so you either tell your people about this, or it's just going to happen. So now what we're seeing, especially with a lot of the hearings, right, and different groups and organizations that have been formed, and the government's coming out and saying, yeah, UAPs are real, kind of, right? But they're trying to get ahead of the narrative. They're trying to control the cosmic narrative so that when that eventually does happen, they're still in control of how it's perceived.
Interesting.
Right?
There's a really famous mystery called the Dyatlov Pass, and it's about these hikers in the 50s, these 9 really experienced hikers who are going for their...
We got a long clip coming on right here, 4-minute clip, y'all. Stay with me. It's a good story. Mr. Ballin's telling it. You can storytell with the best of them.
Called their level 3 mountaineering test. And the way you pass your level 3, you have to map out this route. They use the Ural Mountains, so big snow swept, like huge icy mountains. And so they brought cameras with them. They set off on this journey, and I think they reached the first checkpoint. I forget what it is, but they didn't make it to whatever second checkpoint or whatever it was. And there was a protocol for the people who were sort of sponsoring this test, where if they missed a checkpoint, there's like this big search that goes out to make sure they're okay. So they missed the checkpoint, this protocol is enacted, and not only are there pictures that we will get from the hikers, but there was cameras that came with the search crew. They follow the trail that they're supposed to be on. This is, again, there's no trees. It's just like the tundra. It's like ice and snow and mountains. And they come across this mountain off in the distance, and they see on the windswept side of the mountain, basically halfway up, are these tents that are just these like canvas tents. You barely see them, but they're situated right in the middle of the slope, which is like strategically one of the worst places you can place these tents. So immediately they're thinking, 1, it has to be the hikers, because who else is out here right now? But 2, why in the world would these incredibly talented hikers, why would they ever pitch their tent there? This is the most hazardous part. The wind can whip you off. So they see these tents. They're in the wrong spot. They go up to the tents, and the hikers aren't there. They're not in there. There's pictures of this too. The tents inside had stacks of clothing neatly folded and placed in the corners, like they left their clothes behind. And the tents themselves were cut open, like with a knife, but somehow they deduced that they had been cut open, but from the inside. So presumably one or multiple of the mountaineers chose to cut open these tents in like negative 50-degree weather. And then there were all these prints in the snow that led down the mountain. And some of the prints were bare feet. Some had 1 shoe and 1 barefoot. And it's all 9 of the hikers. They spotted these prints, and they follow the prints down the hill or the mountains, a big space. And they find this little crops of trees. And when they get to the trees, they find 3 of the hikers, and they're all deceased. And there's one who's basically almost naked, wrapped up on the ground. There's pictures of this. There's one who I believe was draped over one of the branches up in one of the trees, and then another one that was also on the ground as well. And there's these deep scratch marks in the tree, like gouges on the tree, as if some animal had been scratching at this tree. And all 3 of these hikers are deceased. There's more footprints that lead away from those 3 about a mile, kind of back in the direction the search party had come from. And there's this big snowdrift that created sort of like a snow cave underneath it. And the footprints lead into the snow cave where the other 6 hikers were, and they're all deceased as well. Except in there, the hikers had seemingly exchanged clothing, and they know this because the women were wearing men's clothing and vice versa. Some of their clothes had trace levels of radiation, and some of them had parts of their face removed, it looked like. Lips, nose, ears. It almost looked like surgical precision removal. They're all deceased. And one of the injuries, there was a person in there who their chest had basically been caved in, and it was deduced that the impact it would have taken, the impact would have been equivalent to like a speeding car smashing into at full speed. But there's no sign of anything that could have done this damage. And so they're all deceased. And so the Soviet government, they launched an investigation. And during this investigation, they discovered that there was a huge military exercise, a Russian military exercise taking place in the Ural Mountains, who had no idea about these hikers. They have no clue that the level 3 mountaineering test is going on. It's not even on their radar. And they're 15, 20 miles away. And one of their senior commanders, on the same night that it's believed the hikers all died and whatever happened to them happened, he began noticing all these strange lights in the sky over the Ural Mountains, going up and down and moving all around, to the point where he actually thought it was another country, a foreign country. Are they invading us? And he literally thought it was like an invasion of Russia. And he sent out messages to say, hey, what's happening over there? Having no idea that he was pointing to the one spot where these hikers were. So during this investigation, they discover that families are clamoring for information about their lost loved ones. Nobody has any idea what's going on. And suddenly the Soviet government says, oh, we're going to shut this investigation down. All we know is that the 9 hikers who died from an unknown, unnatural force. Sealed.
Microsoft. And that's Missing 411, y'all. I think they have some of them on Amazon Prime. I don't remember where I watched it, but I highly recommend you guys go check out the Missing 411. And there's tons of podcasts out there of people talking about it. The dude that created the Missing 411, he's on tons of podcasts. Recommend it, y'all. If you like that type of stuff, Missing in the Woods, which is up my alley, check it out, y'all.
Has created a new state of matter. It's not liquid, it's not gas, and it's not a solid.
Flubber.
It is called topological state, or Majorana particle. It's a phase of matter that only exists at the quantum level. And so they're basically using this new state of matter to create the Majorana 1 chip, and it has the potential to hold more computing power than every other computer combined on Earth. And it's the size of your hand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But the big problem with the quantum computers is that they're operating at like 1,000 bits or whatever. To achieve the full potential of a quantum computer, they need to be achieving 1,000,000+ bits. And this new state of matter will allow them to achieve that.
Golly, dude, that's scary.
It has different conductive properties. It's exponentially faster.
You want me to play the audio of the lady actually explaining it so we have a better understanding?
Would love to.
Okay.
Can you change it to a man's voice?
Watch it.
And this year, we're able to control it and use its unique properties to build a topoconductor that operates as a superconductor. With this material, we can build a whole new foundational architecture for our quantum computers. A topological core, all in the palm of your hand.
Mathematically, it's possible to have a particle that is its own antiparticle. That means you can take 2 of these particles and you bring them together, and they could annihilate, and there's nothing left.
Anyway, speaking of Project Paperclip,
wanted to give you the opportunity to swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Gentlemen. Mr. Seibel.
Yes? If you really walked on the moon, why would you not do that? So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Seibel, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Really? Well, no, it's a real Bible. You have the opportunity to have $5,000.
The meeting is not open.
Well, you have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Please
I have
give
the
it to
tape.
charity. It'd be fine.
Why don't you swear to? Why not? Why won't you do it? So why don't you put your hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Mr. Seibel has made a fool of himself in front of the world. Mr. Seibel, you do not deserve answers.
And his body language was all nervous, kind of like, you're ruining my act, kind of. You know what I mean? We're at a conference, I'm talking about it, everyone here is believing it, and you're over here and making me do this, and like caught in that trap, right?
Canada's overall life expectancy.
Yes.
It might be the craziest statistic in the world right now. You've seen this, right?
Yes.
Since 1930, of course, it goes this way, this way, this way, this way, because you fucking live longer, because fucking technology and medicine. And then 2020 it levels, and then it starts to go down. It's down 2.5 years since 2020, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Unprecedented. What could that possibly be from?
I don't know, Tony.
Weird.
So strange.
Another reason we're not allowed to talk to the dolphins, it's a felony to try and communicate with a wild dolphin, is because they know something about the aliens in the ocean. I'm just going to say it like that, okay? They know something about the UFOs that have been seen coming up out of the water in very strange locations like the Bermuda Triangle. Dolphins love the Bermuda Triangle. The Bimini Islands, where the Bimini Road is, and some people think that's a road to Atlantis, some people think it's an alien runway. Either way, dolphins love that area. The Gulf of Mexico. All right, yes, I said the Gulf of Mexico. Dolphins love the Gulf of Mexico along Texas and Florida, and know where UFO sightings are very prominent, that area. You know where the Tic Tac video came from, that UFO Tic Tac video? that area. There's even a town in Mexico that believes they are protected by an underwater alien base, and that's why they haven't had any hurricanes in like 40 years. Catalina Island is known for frequent dolphin sightings. It's also known because there's supposedly an underwater alien base in the trenches down there. I could keep on going. The list is very long of UFO hotspots that correlate with dolphin hotspots. My point is, that's why we can't talk to dolphins, because they know something about the aliens and they're worried they're going to tell us telepathically, however else you believe dolphins be speaking to humans, through the clicks or the or whatever you believe. So is it the dolphins that are attracted to the UFOs, or are the UFOs attracted to the dolphins, or are the dolphins the aliens that are in the UFOs taking out of the ocean? I really don't know, but what I'm saying, I think this might be why it's a felony to communicate with a dolphin.
It's fishy, y'all. It's a felony to chat with a dolphin. All right, that's like saying there's a loose cat. You're not allowed to put a bowl of water out for the cats that are just like, you're just out there fishing. Hey, dolphin, how you doing? Swimming next to your boat? That's a felony. That's kind of fishy. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
I am the box. I am the box. Leave the skit box. Skip you. I am the box. I am the box. Leave the skit box. Skip you.
People doing with their day, y'all. People doing with their day. Get together.
I am the box.
Going door to door, messing with your ring camera, dressed up like that.
I am the box. Leave the skit box. Skip you.
After the Civil War, these charlatans came up with these talking boards that they were going around and visiting all the widows, saying, I can contact your dead husband, the soldier who died. If you can pay me this amount, we can do it with this talking board. And they made a lot of money off of these poor widows. And then that eventually became what was being known as the Ouija board, which was bought by Hasbro, a toy company, and they're based in Salem, Massachusetts, the capital of witchcraft. And they have consultants who went into the development of these boards that became Ouija boards, and that they are the first to say that they asked the board what its name is, and it said Ouija, which means nothing. And the first year they went to market, the #1 board game was Monopoly, and that year Ouija boards outsold Monopoly by 1 million boards. So it was embraced by the culture, like fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's opening a portal right into hell.
Interesting.
Do y'all see the type of toys they used to give out at Burger King, bro? Gold-plated Pokemon cards inside of a shiny Pokemon ball. Oh, you lucky nowadays to get an extra sauce and not get charged for it. This shit is horrendous what's going on in society right now, yo. Look at the details to this. And if you a Pokemon fan, I already know if you missed out on this, it's one of those things in life that you can't press reverse. That's it. This era is never coming back. There's no way. Consumerism got to a level that if they figure out how to make money selling you nothing, selling you air, best believe they're gonna do that. I wonder how much this goes for right now. What's the value of this? Unopened, sealed. Somebody let me know if they got the full collection untouched. Cause this belongs in a museum. This is ancient artifact vibes. You just gotta catch them all. Pokemon, I don't know, man. I was born in 95. You know what I mean? I didn't get to enjoy this like that. I was at the cusp, at the peak of society. Hey, it is what it is. Gotta take the L. Keep rolling.
I was born in 1990. They banned Pokemon cards at my elementary school because people were like, I don't know, selling them, gambling with them. I don't know why. I don't remember. But I know they did ban them like in 3rd grade.
Thing that blew my mind, right? These intelligence agencies, it is very clear that they've been off the rails right from the start. I read what Alan Dulles was saying behind closed doors and everything. What he was doing is he was hiring the US government in order to fund a corporate slush fund for corporations to utilize this power, this newly government bestowed power, to essentially wage violence that is sanctioned. Whoa. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. The perfect example is Guatemala. United Fruit Company had bought up all this land in Guatemala and was growing bananas like crazy. A lot of the land was just sitting vacant. And Jacobo Arbenz comes into power and he's like, this is bullshit. There's this American corporation that's owning all of our land, that's making all of us poor, and they're not even using a bunch of this land. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy back the land. He didn't take it. He bought it back from the United Fruit Company, and he was going to distribute it for free to all the farmers that were destitute. That pissed United Fruit off. So United Fruit goes to Alan Dulles. His brother, John Foster Dulles, was the Secretary of State. And so United Fruit goes to them and is like, hey, can we overthrow this piece of shit? Because he's fucking with our business, right? And they, through those two brothers, lobbied the United States, propagandized the United States. They hired propaganda artists to propagandize them. And they painted him as a communist. They overthrew the government of Guatemala and they ousted him. They bombed Guatemala City and they got rid of him and they put in their own dictator that started 30 years of absolute devastation and basically tore Guatemala apart.
Tax is a big issue for me. I don't like taxes. I don't understand taxes. When I hear people in the Western world pay 40, 50, 60% tax, it's like you work 5, 6 months, 7 months of the year for free, basically. That's what you're telling me. For what? For no safety, average education, below average healthcare. It's like, why are you even doing that? It's like, no, we don't pay tax in the UAE, but we get the most safest places in the world. We got amazing healthcare, and educating here is superb. Yes, we pay for it, but if you make the math, it's cheaper here than there. Tax is a big.
I've been told. I remember Sterling actually our coach came along and he said, you guys don't be upset, but I've been told to take y'all out after the first 5 minutes of the game because Sterling wanted to see David Robinson keep the scoring title in the West because he didn't want Shaquille O'Neal to get the scoring title in the East.
I remember when he hit 60 or something like that.
He had 70. He had 70. He had 43
Timeout. So that game was fixed. He told y'all that y'all not going to play because he want them
took us out. And if you go back and watch that game, we didn't play after that.
I remember Dave Robinson.
I remember walking off the bench but I don't know the end of the game. And I'm out. They can't offer me enough. I'm done.
You are backstory on the history. I remember that 70. I remember that being
the game. You ask Mark Jackson or Ron Harper, they'll tell you.
Wow.
Yeah.
People are freaking out because a skater who tragically passed in the DC plane crash reposted this just days before.
Of survival during high-impact situations.
It's so sad that we lost these skaters. They were all really talented. This is Spencer Lane. He was probably going to go to the Olympic. And I really don't post this trying to make light of the situation at all. Like, this is horrible. It's so sad. And they're all so young. But it is really crazy. And a lot of people are thinking this was like foreshadowing. Obviously, we didn't know like this tragedy was going to happen. Just the fact that he reposted it just shows like you never know when it's going to be you. Like, obviously what happened was out of everyone's control. And actually, as the plane was lifting off, he took a picture from inside the plane and posted it on his Instagram story. He also posted how proud he was and how excited he was, and he's a king. He was great. It's such a tragedy what happened to these poor people. I feel so bad for them and the families, and I really am not trying to make light.
Dude, the Black Pearl?
Oh, yes. I don't know anything about it. What's up?
The whole reason that Jack Sparrow's ship was black. There's this whole scene where they give that backstory. Apparently, Jack Sparrow worked for the East India Trading Company. The Black Pearl was given to him under contract from Beckett to be running goods from these places. Well, he goes on one of these assignments to pick up cargo. He gets there and it's slaves. He frees them all. Beckett catches up and lights the ship on fire. It burns down and sinks. In the deleted scene, Jack Sparrow's line, he said, people aren't cargo. It's like this epic backstory.
That's the coolest thing ever.
They burnt the Black Pearl, and then he made a deal
with
Davy Jones
to bring it back.
And
that's
why it's
the
Black Pearl, because it was burnt.
And that's why also people are terrified when they see the Black Pearl, because it shouldn't exist.
It shouldn't be there.
Isn't that awesome?
Why would you delete that?
That's the best.
That makes it way cooler.
If that was established in the first movie, or even that was the twist at the end,
it answers so much too. Like, why is this pirate this insanely moral person? Well, he was a cargo ship.
Yeah,
and
he always chooses the better moral thing to do.
The start of his depravity was his commitment to morality.
Dude, what
Wow.
that makes the character even better.
So
man.
sick.
That's
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah.
That's so
Individual.
rad.
Yeah.
But he has tattoos.
Ooh.
And
Not for me.
Someone explain to me how everyone says that they're struggling. Everyone says that they're living paycheck to paycheck right now. But then you go look at Disney and the lines are gigantic. You look at concerts, they're packed. The tickets sell out in seconds. How can everyone, and I mean everyone, be supposedly struggling so bad, but then simultaneously they're also doing all of the things that require money that are not necessities? I'm not kidding you when I say everyone. Like, I don't know a single person who I have talked to who has said, man, things are just great right now economically and financially for me. Last time I heard someone say that was like 2021. I can attest to this personally because I just launched a supplement business in January. I did not expect it to take off. I did not expect it to do very well early on, or even at all. But I was wrong. It's doing extremely well, so much so that I've had to scale back the advertising because I'm about to run out of stock right after launching. The cheapest thing my supplement business offers is $70. That is the least you can spend on anything. Make it make sense.
Stores are packed during the week too. I go out during the day, like on a Tuesday. I'm like, the stores are packed, like packed. Like it's Christmas time, right? Restaurants are packed. When Mama Bear went out on Monday for my birthday to eat, packed. And, living paycheck to paycheck, right?
What's beyond that ice wall? Like, what's so magnificent that every country that can't agree on shit else, that's warring and fighting over resources, but came to an agreement that we're not letting these niggas beyond that wall? Like, what do y'all think is beyond that wall?
Life.
You were never ever meant to see this, but it's now become one of the most groundbreaking news stories. I'm sure you've all heard of Noah's Ark in the Bible. Like, if you haven't, I'd be pretty damn surprised. Of course, this being one of the biggest, most renowned bits in the Bible, which many people for years have been trying to prove and disprove on the other side. There has been some huge news in the last couple of years, and it just got far crazier in the last couple of days.
Found it.
People know the whole point of Noah's Ark was that everything started happening, they got all the animals on the boat, and then they took to sea. So of course, one of the big questions that people have been asking is, well, where is the Ark now? Surely there's some reminiscence of it. Well, this is Mount Ararat in Turkey, where they made a discovery a couple of years ago. You probably saw this photo about a year ago, which people were saying they had found Noah's Ark in Antarctica because look at it. But no, that's literally just an iceberg. It was proved. On this mountain in Turkey, they found this strange rock formation, which, yeah, just looks like a mountain. But when you look at it more, it's a bit strange. It's how they depict the actual Noah's Ark would look. That's a mountain. This is where it gets crazier, so stick with me. They have been running tests on the rock here and basically found out that it does contain old bits of wood, and like, this isn't just an organic mountain as such. Trying to explain in the most simple way possible. So estimated to be the exact length that Noah's Ark is depicted. The most recent news from soil testing and testing the whole rock and formation, they say that this thing was definitely underwater at some point, with scientists estimating the time it would have been underwater the same time depicted in the Bible.
My sister just sent me a picture of something that her home video camera picked up while they were away at a softball game. I need somebody to tell me what this thing is.
The inside. Thought it was outside when I first watched it.
Did I hear or read something that it might be tomorrow? Like, it was predicted to be tomorrow? Did I hear that? Because if so, there's a lot that I need to do. Like a playlist. I need to make room in my wine fridge. I probably should get some balloons, maybe. Okay. Let me know if you heard the same.
Does it weird anyone else out that all of the complex machinery inside the human body, your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your kidneys, everything that it's doing, your stomach digesting, all of it happens in total darkness? There is an enclosed, complicated system, machine in there, basically running nonstop, 24/7, with all of these incredible processes. And all of it's happening shielded from the sun, from light, because of your skin, your bone, your muscle tissue. And so it's just constantly running in an absolute void.
Wouldn't it be crazy if cave dwellers were snatching Americans from national parks? There are over 1,600 Americans missing via mysterious circumstances who disappeared in national parks. If you look at the map above, all the colored dots, those are the missing people. If you look at the map below, that's the underground cave systems in America. Oftentimes, these people will disappear, like, basically while they're standing right beside their family, like young boys go behind a bush, they're gone. So many cases of this. Search dogs will come to abrupt halts, like at the foot of a cliff and stuff, when they're searching for these people. And in the rare instances that they're found, it's often an impossible distance away from where they went missing, in like strange places that make no sense. It seems impossible. Former police officer David Pelias has done multiple stories on this and projects. Check it out for a weekend rabbit hole. And let me know in the comments, is this underground cave people or Bigfoot?
Something going on in Hollywood that we're unaware of. These people don't even look themselves anymore. They act completely bizarre. What is going on? Who is that? Who the hell is that?
Banks
That
was
is
at a
not
big
who
Fort
I
Worth
remember
novel.
that being.
Mixed with alien.
Hollywood's got some darkness. Darkness. They're literally all looking like mannequins. These are like robotic AI versions of themselves or something. It's totally freaking me out. You guys feel that? When you're looking at these celebrities? Darkness. No, she didn't. I think she did. I'm not gonna say it. You're thinking it. Honestly, she's given me some, like, Wendy Williams vibes a little bit. You don't think that Tyra Banks is playing Wendy Williams at this point, do you? Because she totally could. And I'm telling you, something doesn't feel right about this woman anymore. Go find this picture on Google and zoom into her eyes, guys. You're not fooling me, Tyra.
Oh man, these oranges look so ripe. Crazy orange color. Because they fake you out with this red lining. But it actually looks like that.
Sons of
John Blitch, his interview was fascinating.
What happened to him?
He believes that he was potentially abducted even as a child. He would see them outside his window just staring in. And then as an adult, I would do this bike ride because the pressure of my job was just intense. And this one bike ride, there are 5 hours unaccounted for that I was missing. He said, my wife called the police. It's almost like I just like closed my eyes and opened them. And he's like, it was just a little darker outside. And he said he was the most tired he's ever been. And then he went into a gas station, chugged like so much Gatorade, walked out, and the police were like, hey, are you John or whatever? He's like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, you've been missing for 5 hours. Your wife called in. They're concerned about you. Can we give you a ride home?
And he couldn't remember anything besides that.
No.
That's so
But then he talks about there was one night where he was visited. He said the only way I could describe it was a giant praying mantis, but it could speak to me telepathically.
Tim Alberino talked about it.
Yeah, he did.
Insectoid.
But he talked about this thing was speaking with him telepathically, and basically along the lines of like, stop squirming, stop moving, let us do our test. We can never touch or hurt your soul. And then he woke up. I noticed on my arm there was 3 bruises inside my arm. Something had grabbed me.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Have you heard about spiritual psychosis?
No. What is that?
Oh my gosh. My best friend's studying to be a psychiatrist, right?
Okay.
She's in like
To prescribe.
med school. Yeah.
Okay.
And we were talking, and after about the age of 25, our frontal lobe develops, right?
Yes.
And that's when either people like become super religious out of nowhere, because it's usually schizophrenia, and underdiagnosed schizophrenia at the age of 25.
And they say a lot of people that experience schizophrenia are extremely religious.
Yeah, you know what's fascinating? My mom had schizophrenia, and every time she would have an episode or a crisis, she would just go crazy with like religiosity.
Do you hear Jesus right now?
Yes, he's telling me what to say to you. He
Yeah.
tells me how to speak, what to say, how to say it.
She'd be going like door to door and like telling people that like my brother was the second coming of Christ.
Why would Jesus single you out?
Because I'm a chosen child.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a connection. Schizophrenia and religion for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Well, then you can't say, like, someone's like, I feel the Jesus in me. They think they're religious, not crazy.
I went through a spiritual psychosis, and what's crazy is that there's a community that will support you in this, like, psychotic episode.
If I were to walk in and say the FBI's after me, people are going to be like, 5150, lock her up. But if I was like, Jesus is here with me right now, they'd be like, amen,
I
sister.
can only trust the angels, and I was like constantly looking for like number signs in the universe, and everybody just let me be in a psychotic episode. Nobody like stopped to question me. Nobody was like, are you alright, babe?
Now that is very interesting. I don't want to do a deep dive on that because just watching that makes me nervous because, as you guys know, I'm schizophrenic. But one of my worst episodes I have ever had to do with the Bible. Had to do with the Bible. Devil talked to me. I don't even want to get into it, y'all, but maybe on another video we can. But one of my worst episodes ever had to do with the Bible. I've had God talk to me. He sent me signs. You know, I felt actual joy, warmth go through my body after God talked to me. That's why my little dog's named Joy. I've had signs asking him a question to show me something and showed me. You know what I mean? So it might sound crazy, but hearing that kind of, you know, makes me nervous, y'all. But it's deep. It's deep. It's a touchy subject for me. But when I saw that clip, I was like, I've never known that. But I've had a lot of religious type things happen to me, right? Good and bad. So there's something to that, y'all. There's something to that. Maybe that's why I see through all this stuff, right? There's no way that's real, y'all. I gotta go back and watch that. Is that real, y'all? Have you guys fact checked that?
So I did not know who the Quakers were. I was not taught this in elementary school. I was not taught this in high school. I was not taught about the Quakers. Okay, I just thought this was oatmeal. As an adult, I had to do research, and I was researching Harriet Tubman's life, where I was coming across all these documentaries, and I did not know about the Quakers. Do anybody know who the Quakers were prior to doing their own research online? Did you guys learn about the Quakers in high school or in elementary school? I just want to know, because I was not aware of these people, and I felt like this was purposely not taught to us.
I'll have to look into that.
Nothing to see right here. Nothing at all. A plane just spontaneously combusted today in Denver, Colorado, at the Denver airport.
Like that. Oh, what happened?
It's on fire.
On the wings?
And this did just happen to be coincidentally not related. It just happened to be a Boeing plane. Again, not really at all, just giving you the manufacturing or manufacturer of the plane. And also completely unrelated 1000%. Did you know that a plane fell out of the sky in Texas earlier today? Yeah, the same Texas that had green fire and explosions happening underground yesterday. I really do wondering what could be happening to all planes in the air in 2025. This picture is purely for entertainment to get your attention. So what do y'all think about this? Do you intend on flying anywhere in 2025? I know it's been literally months, but I am sure that at some point soon you'll get this figured out, right?
I just saw Emily Heaton's video from today. She's the alien communicator lady that's been communicating with the Galactic Federation and all those people, and they told her that they're coming this weekend. And that they are going to reveal 2 of their motherships in 2 different locations. And that is just basically going to be undeniable. Like this is the disclosure that will like break things wide open with alien contact. And you know, I am here for it, and why not? I'm ready. Still going to take my math and history test tomorrow because we still have to go on. And this is like, so like people, this is, if you're just now hearing about this for the first time, or this happens, just, they come in love. We are really not doing a good job with this whole Earth thing and human thing. And so it's going to be better. Don't be jackasses when they get here, please.
Well, it's about 1:30 and I'm going home at 2 o'clock. And his cell's all the way at the end. And he's yelling, Irish, come down here. I'm like, what? I'm going home, Charlie. No, come down here, man. Come down here. All right. So me and Mario go down there. I'm like, what's up? And he hands me this card that he drew. And he says, here, give this to your wife for her birthday. I'm like, what? I go, Charlie, how do you know it's her birthday? Oh, man, I just know things, you dig? I go, Charlie, how do you know it's her birthday? And he just put his head down and kind of like, oh, man. I'm like, dude, Charlie, I'm not going to leave here until you tell me how you know it's her birthday. He goes, all right, you really want to know? Yeah. Well, remember I was in the holding cage? Yeah. He goes, you went right there in the office, picked up the phone and called her and told her happy birthday. I'm like, oh, okay. Because we didn't have cell phones or nothing back then. Those were the only phones we had. I'm like, okay, so he's paying attention. And he's always paying attention to everything that's going on. You know, that kind of freaked me out until he told me how he learned it was her birthday.
Do you want to show the audience the card?
I can.
If you want, if you're comfortable with it. I just showed it to that camera right there. That's crazy.
You're trying to tell me that the civilization that constructed this beauty is less advanced than the civilization we live now? Are you seriously going to try and convince me that we live in an advanced civilization? Ain't nobody convincing me that our civilization is advanced. Just look at Poland, then and now. What about the Netherlands, then and now? You know, like the power of the internet, it's always been here. You're trying to tell me that this type of civilization that constructs such beauty and etiquette towards their architectural designs didn't have advance in technology? You know, in the start of the 1900s, they literally took the ether out of the periodic table. But obviously, this was all just for entertainment, guys. I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
I can't be the only one that feels this way. I'm 42 years old, but I don't feel 42 years old. And I've had so many comments from women saying I'm 45, but mentally I still feel like I'm 25. And I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that we mentally stopped developing around 25 into 30. That might be why it's so hard for so many women to look in the mirror and not recognize themselves anymore, because our brains still think that we're 25. I don't know, what do you think?
All right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what to do. If you made it this far, leave that like, leave a comment, subscribe. Appreciate the love from these past couple of videos, y'all. We're flipping it. We're starting to flip it, right? We're getting there. We're getting it flipped. It's been a while. It's been a tough, since election, 3 months, 4 months. The YouTube has been a tough grind these past 2 videos. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Got all day today, y'all. Got all day left. Mama Bear's downstairs with the baby. I'll probably go down there, chill with them, go to Harbor Freight. Maybe Home Depot. We'll see. For sure Harbor Freight, though. I want to buy the Bauer shop vac accessory kit. You know what I mean? So outside's clean. It's ugly outside. It's cold in here. I'm out of here, y'all. Hope everyone out there has a good day. If you are, let me know down below what you got going on today. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys on tomorrow's video. Have a good Saturday, y'all. Stay safe. Later.